Welcome to Daily Victory. Today we are sharing about gifting yourself away and giving to others. There are so many scriptures in the Word of God that talk about giving and how God blesses you when you give yourself and pour yourself into the lives of others. Galatians 6:10 says, "Therefore, as we have opportunity, let us do good to all people." All people. That means the person at the gas station. That means the person that serves you coffee in the morning when you go through Starbucks or Dunkin' Donuts. That means the checkout person in the line at the grocery store. That means the person in Walmart that you see shopping. That means when you're passing people on the street and they're homeless or they're sitting there or there are all kind of opportunities that we find within a day to gift ourselves away, to share our talents, our gifts with others, to show the love of Christ, to give in a way that it exemplifies the life of Christ that's in us by simply gifting ourselves, giving ourselves. Every single one of us have something that we can use to give to someone else. Every one of us have ways that we can give, that we can love other people, that we can give to other people. We've shared about giving your testimony. Some of you have stories of things that have happened to you, things that you've gone through, areas of your life that you went through a horrible situation and God brought you through. And that testimony can be used to be a blessing to the lives of others. When years ago, when my husband Jeff went into a life of homosexuality, and God told me to stand for my marriage and he would bring Jeff back home. Well, I had never met anyone whose marriage was restored. I had never personally met anyone whose husband went into homosexuality and that husband ended up coming back home and God turned their situation around and God restored it. And so it was a new experience for me because I didn't know anybody. And I remember there was a ministry in Philadelphia, and it was a ministry to those that were in a homosexual lifestyle. And I went to that ministry because I didn't understand what was going on. I didn't know anyone I could talk to. I didn't know anyone who had experienced what I was experiencing. And I remember getting the number of a lady. She lived in Baltimore. I can't remember her name or really much about her other than that I heard that her husband went into a life of homosexuality. And I remember I called her and she was like a lifeline for me. I didn't have anyone to talk to. I didn't know what was going on with my husband, why this happened. I didn't know anything. But I knew God had spoke to me to pray for him and stand for him. And I remember calling her, and I was just like a sponge. When she talked to me, I took in everything she had to say like a sponge because she comforted me with the same comfort that God had given to her when it happened to her. And I didn't know anyone in my church that had gone through that. I didn't know anyone in my world that had experienced that kind of a situation except this one lady that I heard about. I wish I could remember her name now, but she really blessed my life because she shared with me freely what happened in her own life and how God brought her through her experience and her circumstance of the same thing happening to her. I'll never forget her, even though I can't remember her name, but I won't forget what she did for me when she talked to me and shared with me. You have testimonies inside of you. You have stories inside of you of things that have happened to you that God, with his comfort, he comforted you. You know, it's really interesting because one of my favorite things as a pastor to do, and this may sound odd, but one of my favorite ways of ministry is whenever I get to do funerals. I love the opportunity of doing a funeral. Do I love the fact that people are grieving? Do I love the fact that someone has died? No, 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 not that. What I love is the opportunity for me to comfort someone else. Now, it's been so many years since my first husband passed away. It was back in 1991 when he passed away. But I remember still to this day how God comforted me. I remember that Pastor Faye stayed with me. I remember that Pastor Faye even flew to Memphis, Tennessee with me when I went to bury my husband, because he was from Memphis. And so we had a funeral here at Victory, and then we had a funeral in Memphis. And my daughter and I, Gabrielle, had to fly to Memphis to have a funeral there and to bury Jeff there in Memphis. And Pastor Faye went with me. She paid her own flight. She got a hotel for us. She stayed with us. When we were doing the viewing, she took Gabrielle to the mall to get her out of the situation with the viewing. She literally spent the night with us and gave herself to us to comfort us after what we had been through. I'm telling you, that changed my life and showed me the love of God that can emanate from another person. Pastor Faye literally gave herself away to Gabrielle and I during that time to comfort us, to be with us. And then after the funeral was over, I remember holidays that Pastor Gary and Faye would invite us to their house so that we would have someone to spend the holiday with. They didn't just give up on us. They constantly watched out for us and helped us and blessed us. And times that we were going through things with Gabrielle and me being a single parent, and Pastor Gary would just step in and be that father figure, and Pastor Gibb. So I know what it feels like to be comforted after a loss. I know what it feels like for somebody to take you to the mall and buy you something and bless you and help you. And so I love that part of the ministry because it gives me a chance to share back what God has given to me. Oh, today, would you share Daily Victory on your social media platforms so that others can be blessed? Also, we have a call right after this broadcast. The number's on your screen. You can call that number and begin to speak with other people and share your testimonies and hear from them as well to uplift and encourage you. And then today, you can give. You can give to the ministry by texting donate to 302-324-5400. Give yourself away today. Comfort others like God has comforted you.